Hey everybody, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic book review for August 8th, 2023. Alright, thank you for all of you joining in today, as well as to all the new subscribers. Take a moment to say hello to you. Thank you for joining this channel, which reviews comic books, technology, and we have a lot of fun. What can I say? And music, we gotta love that kind of stuff, because that's what we do truly enjoy here. And we try to build a nice community and can share our views and thoughts. And that's what I'm going to be doing here today, is sharing views and thoughts of a bunch of comic books that I chose to read this month. And I will say this ahead of time, I did not have the chance to read as much as I wanted to. I had to spend some time in the recording studio working on a project, and I just didn't have time to read as much as I wanted, but I still got through a pretty big chunk. So here's what I do. I read them, I give you my review with a score of 0 through 10, 7 being average, 70%. But I also provide information by sharing information from the League of Comics Geeks. I give you their views as well, so you can compare that to mine, and you can make an informed decision on your own. And feel free to leave your views on certain issues as well in the comments below, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Night Terrors, The Flash, number 2. Where I gave it a 7.01, whereas League of Comics Geeks said 97 out of 105 liked it with a 4 average rating. Can Barry outrun his biggest fears? As Barry Allen plunges deeper into the nightmare realm, he's confronted with his biggest fears and experiences some of the most shocking events that took place before his return. Barry continues to run free of the terror, but something is gaining on him. And the cover was mediocre in this issue. I thought the art was just the same. It was okay. It was a little different at times, but I guess it was on purpose because of the whole nightmare thing. Originally, I wasn't a big fan of jumping into this Night Terrors thing, but I decided to dip my toes in it and give it a try, and it's been okay. This is an interesting story as well, and it's nice to see Wally with Barry. But, what can I say? How do I put this? I don't like how they drew Hal Jordan at all, and I don't like what Barry did to Hal in this issue. But that's just my minor gripes. It's a pretty good issue. If you're a Flash fan, you'll probably continue to enjoy this. Also, you might be hearing my notes here and a click as I go through my League of Comics Geeks here too to give you the additional information. That's just part of how I do this. Now, the next one I want to talk about is another issue of Night Terrors, and this was Green Lantern. I have to say, Night Terrors number 2, Green Lantern, the cover was really cool. I really dug this cover. Really, for that alone, I think was worth the price of entry. But here we go. I gave this book an 8 out of 10. League of Comics Geeks had 122 out of 126 liked it with a 4 average rating, so I gave it a little bit higher rating, I believe, than they did. Even Sinestro has something to fear. As Hal Jordan is swallowed by the nightmare wave, Earth's Green Lantern shows this new malevolent threat what a man with the willpower to overcome fear can do. And boy, did he ever. I thought that was great. There's a nice, really cool Evil Dead nod with chainsaw and the shotgun in this issue too. So hey, I see what you did there. That was a good move by the writer Jeremy Adams there. Good move, artist Jordi Tarragona, which I butchered that. I apologize for that. I butchered that pretty good. But anyway, this is Hal Jordan written right. The focus on the character and his willpower. This is why he is special. Really good move there. Solid art. Now, the Sinestro story I found to be okay, but nothing spectacular, nothing great. But I will say, so far, in my opinion, this is the best issue of Night Terrors that I've read. What's the best issue of Night Terrors that you have read so far? I'd like to know your opinion on that as well. Now, the next one in Night Terrors I read was Robin number 2, where I gave it a 7.3. Now, 96 out of 108 liked it from League of Comics Geeks with 3.8 average. And this issue was written by Kenny Porter, artist Miguel Mendoca, which once again, I butcher names. I do apologize for that. We have Robin versus Nightmare Robins. The dynamic duo Tim Drake and Jason Todd are on death's door. Lost in their own personal hells with their worst nightmares around every corner and nowhere to run, the two Robins must put aside their differences and find the strength to overcome their fears and fight back. Pretty cool cover with the good old crowbar coming out with Robin there. That's a pretty good move there. That was a decent art and decent story. Here's what I really thought though. Maybe, just maybe DC, you ready for this? Should make a series with Tim Drake, Jason Todd, and Stephanie Brown. Hear me out here. Get rid of this whole silly Bernard relationship joke thing. Okay, it's not working. Tim Drake and Stephanie's what works, but have a little fun with this. have a love triangle with Stephanie Brown in the middle of it between Jason Todd and Tim Drake. Because recently, if you've read a few issues, there's been a little bit of connection there with Jason Todd and Stephanie. I'm not saying it's a love connection necessarily, but Stephanie's doing some things to help Jason Todd out. And I don't know, it seems like there's something that there could be something there, and they could make a really good love triangle story with this, with a team, a mini little team, if you will, of those three working together. But that's my thoughts. What would you think about that? Would that be a cool move, or you think I'm sort of missing the mark on that one? Once again, I think that might be the best way to go. Now, yes, here we go for another Night Terrors issue, Night Terrors Shazam number 2, where I gave it a 7.4 out of 10. By the way, if I didn't give my Robin score, it was a 7.3. I can't remember if I did or not. Whereas this one I gave a 7.4. 90 out of 98 liked it on League of Comics Geeks with a 3.9 average rating. Mark Waid wrote this one with the penciler Roger Cruz. And I have to say, well, I hate to admit this, but it's the truth. I believe in telling the truth. I think Waid has been knocking it out of the ballpark with his issues on pretty much everything he's been touching for DC lately. Like him or not, that's just the truth. I think this had good art, solid story, and I hope we get more good writing from good old Mary Marvel. She's a great character, and don't get me wrong, I like the traditional Captain now, as they call him, but I like Mary Marvel as well. In this issue, we meet the Nightmare Captain. Trapped in a nightmare realm, Mary Marvel thinks she's discovered her greatest fear, but she's wrong. She won't emerge from her dreamscape the way she entered it, at least not when the Nightmare Captain has anything to do with it. I think you should check this out if you are a fan of Mary Marvel. You're really not going anything wrong here. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Now, to get to the main story arc of Night Terrors number 3, I gave it a 7.1. League of Comics Geeks at 156 out of 167 liked it with a 4.1 average rating, so it's doing pretty well. Welcome back, ghouls and ghosts. Deadman is here. Boston Brand again. The horror adventure continues as the sleepless nights attack. But now, there's a new problem. Batman's son Damian is furious and keeps trying to fight Deadman. Well, we'll see what happens in this issue. This issue is written by Joshua Williamson and art Gillespie McCauley, which, once again, I butchered, I'm sure. You know what? I think it's nice saying more Deadman stories. I think we could use some more Deadman. He's an interesting character. The art was okay. The story was better than I expected in this issue as well. So I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised with what we've been getting from Night Terrors. Then this next one probably doesn't surprise too many people with my views on it, because as I just said some earlier about the writer of this series, the series was written by Mark Waid and artist is I can't pronounce her name, I'm sorry, but none other. The issue is World's Finest Teen Titans number 2. And I gave this issue a 7 out of 10. Donna Troy joins the team. Welcome to Metropolis, Wonder Girl. Hoping to reconnect with her human roots, Donna Troy leaves Themyscira for the city of tomorrow. There, she meets Mal Duncan, a young man with the markings of a true hero. And just in time as well, the Titans are going to need all the help they can get as they investigate a cry for help that leads them to a haunted house that is not what it seems. Mark Waid wrote this, as already alluded to, and the artist was Emmanuel Pacino. I'm sorry, I butchered her name. Once again, that's never on purpose. 163 out of 174 liked it with a 4 average rating, where I gave it a 7. Here's the thing. I thought it was not as good as the first issue, but it was still good. Decent art. And here's the thing, we could have done without another Nightmare type of story, because I mean, really, right now with the current DC thing, with all the Night Terrors series taking over everything right now, this is something that I probably would have given a higher score than a 7 if it wasn't in the middle of the whole Nightmare series segment. Now, before I go to my next issue, I want to take a moment to say thank you to these wonderful people here. Without these people, this channel wouldn't be possible. If you want to help this channel too, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below. That's going to help us a lot with the analytics as well, to get a little bit more notice to this channel, because that really does make a big difference. If you feel that I do a good job and you want to help support the channel, you can also use our Patreon or Subscribe Star to help support the channel with a little bit of money that way too, and that would help. Or there's a one-time donation you can use with the Streamlabs link down below, or even if you're looking to buy something new like a preamplifier or the device that I'm using to record this on right now. You can see the links below for my affiliate links for that, and that'll give me a little bit of change too as well. Just to let you know, if a noise has been popped up, it's because, well, my wife started running the vacuum cleaner, and that's my fault because I told her I was done with the audio and I didn't realize it didn't record at all, so I'm re-recording this part right now. So I got 2 more to go, so bear with me. The last one I've really got a soapbox stand on. This one first, though, is Ghost Rider Wolverine Weapons of Vengeance Alpha number 1. 53 out of 55 liked it with a 4.1 average rating, where I gave this an 8.1. Writer is Benjamin Percy, artist is Jeff Shaw, and I think this is a good one here. Logan and Blaze, the Weapons of Vengeance. Logan is the best at what he does, and what he does is deadly, of course, because it isn't very nice. When innocent blood is spilled, you get Johnny Blaze becoming the Ghost Rider, where he's equipped to deal out punishment with the power of hellfire. A demonic serial killer is murdering innocent mutants. But what is it about the deadly new villain that forces our 2 heroes to team up? This is an issue I think you should be checking out. I really enjoyed it. It's a one-shot that's set up to set a Ghost Rider and Wolverine crossover. So you're going to be able to get more of this story by reading the Wolverine series as well as the Ghost Rider. It has solid art, and I truly believe it's an interesting story. And if you are a fan of either one of these characters, you need to be reading this. If not, you still might want to check it out. All right, here we go. This is my soapbox stance here. Amazing Spider-Man number 31. I gave it a 6.8 out of 10. 69 out of 104 liked it with a 3.3 average rating. So yeah, people aren't really enjoying it, because here what we have is a special oversized issue. It's the wedding of the year. Peter Parker is the best man, and Tombstone is walking the bride down the aisle. That's right. Kids are getting married. You know, and that's fine. That part of the story is not so bad. We have a lot of writers in this issue. Zeb Wells is writing the major story there, but then we have a bunch of other writers as well as artists involved in this issue with a bunch of mini short stories. And that's where I'm going to get on my soapbox for. First of all, here we are. This is, how do I put this? In this issue with the wedding story, how come every time now that there's a wedding in comic books, the women are partying it up before the wedding and the guys have some really dull, lackluster failure attempt at a bachelor party? You know, done once or so, it's fine and it's cute, but it seems like it's every single wedding in comic books now. The women are partying up and the men are just dull. Get off of that trope. It's ridiculous. Now, let's jump to the mini stories. First of all, I thought the main story, besides that gripe, actually wasn't that bad. Online, by the way, I did see some people complaining about a particular panel about Peter Parker screwing up and not calling the people early enough to attend the bachelor party, and that's why it was ruined. Don't jump to that conclusion. If you actually read the issue, Peter Parker did not make that mistake. He said he did because he wanted to take the pain onto himself, because he didn't want to admit to his buddy Randy that nobody wanted to come because they were all afraid of the supervillain thing and all that. So I think that was actually quite good writing there rather than what people were slamming it for. But here is my conundrum here, okay? Let's talk about the mini stories, and I got something else I want to mention. Okay, so here we go. Why, in one of the mini series, we got Kamala Khan's back, and Peter Parker decides to share his identity with her. Why? Of all the characters he could share his identity with, why Kamala? This is not an anti-Kamala thing. It's just, let's be realistic here. Spider-Man has to really trust you to do that. He's got a lot more people he has a better connection with that he has not shared his identity with. Why on earth is he sharing it with Kamala? It was just a waste. It was silly. It was ridiculous. No good there. And another one, though, miniseries, we have Jackpot. MJ becoming, once again, putting more into her becoming Jackpot, the superhero, and getting a costume. Why does Marvel feel that MJ needs to be a hero? Having every character surrounding our hero be heroes sort of takes away from what makes Peter Parker special. I think we all enjoy the MJ Peter Parker dynamic. Why does Marvel keep screwing this up? When will they ever get it right? I honestly doubt they will. Now, on top of that, this issue is too many side stories. Yeah, this issue mostly is composed with side stories. It cost $9.99. So you paid $9.99 if you bought this for a bunch of advertisements trying to get you to buy other comic books. That is absolutely ridiculous. And one of them is Spider-Boy, another character that no one gives a crap about. It's a Dan Slott creation that probably ranks right up there with Alpha for how ridiculous and crappy the character is. All this is half of the issue. You spent $9.99 on this issue, and actually probably over half of it, is loaded with dumb advertisements for other comics trying to get you to buy into other series. So they had us pay for advertisements. This was a waste of $9.99. If you paid $9.99 for this like I did, you've got some expensive toilet paper on your hands here. The main story was mediocre at best, and the rest was pretty much crap. You might get a little chuckle here or there out of some of those things, but really, was it worth your money? Was it worth $9.99? I want to know your thoughts. Was this worth your $9.99 to buy an advertisement to buy more Marvel comic books? I don't think it was. I think it was a waste, but that's my opinion, not yours. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me in my soapbox rant, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Until next time, keep it frugal.